The word enlightenment, though a not popular word, is a word that points to a fascinating state of being. This is a state of being where a person has realized and has come to acknowledge and know that the things that one encounters in this life end up shaping what one turns out to be. So enlightenment is the same as awakening to the truth of the things that shape one's personality, one's psychology, and one's holistic state of being. So awakening and enlightenment are two words that point to a state of being where a human being awakens to the fact that the things that he or she encounters through his or her own senses end up shaping who one turns out to be. So when you find an individual who knows the extent to which the things that we encounter shape our reality and our personalities and our individual opinions and perspectives, so when you come into contact with this individual, then this is a proof of true awakening. An awakening to the things that shape our psychology, an awakening to the things that shape who we act out. This is an awakening to the things that shape us without the consent of the masses. So this is a fascinating state of being where only few individuals come to realize. This is a state of being that one becomes responsible of the things that enter through his or her own senses. One makes a deliberate effort of exposing his or her own senses to things that will play an uplifting role into his own life, knowing well that the things that one acquires through the senses will end up shaping one's future, will end up shaping who one will turn out to be. So awakening, enlightenment are words that point to an awakening to the fact that the things that one encounters, the things that one experiences, never leave one the same. So each and every video you watch, each and every content you watch online, each and every content you absorb does not leave you the same. Each and everything you perceive through your senses alters your personality, alters your psychology. So the things that you repeatedly watch play the biggest role in who you are, in what you act out, in how you act. So awakening, enlightenment is the ascension to a state of knowing the things that shape human behavior. Awakening, enlightenment is realizing that the things that we perceive today will end up dictating who we will turn out to be tomorrow. Awakening, enlightenment is the realization that what we are today is a byproduct of the things that we've acquired since birth. Awakening is a realization and an enlightenment to the fact that we are byproduct of the experiences that our senses have gathered. So these are influenced by the movies, the music. This is the influence of all the things that we've gathered. So when one is shaped by the movies, then the norms of the movies becomes one's norms. When one is shaped by the music industries, then the music philosophies, the philosophies being pushed by those music artists, they become the philosophies that guide the fans of those music. So without one's consent, the things that one exposes him or her self to end up shaping what one turns out to be. And this does not only apply to those who know. You might not know that some certain music is having a negative influence on you, but it is. If you repeatedly watch it and listen to it, then it will definitely impact who you turn out to be. You don't have to know if it's impacting you. The fact that you repeat watching it or listening to it or playing it, it will ultimately end up shaping and altering who you are. So awakening, enlightenment, self-realization is the realization that the things that you encounter, the things that you perceive through your eyes, through your ears, through your sense of touch, they gather in your mind, they accumulate in your brain, and they end up creating your personality, and they end up creating and reshaping who you are. So awakening and enlightenment is the light that shows one the things that makes one act in a certain way. Enlightenment, awakening, is the realization and the awakening to the fact that the things one encounters do not just impact the entertainment we have, they also shape our personalities. They also shape our behaviors. They also reshape our conduct. So the music that we listen to in the name of entertainment, we should also know that it is also a form of information that we are feeding to our minds, and it won't leave us the same. It will leave an impact in our psychology. So there is no anything that's just for fun. Everything we encounter ends up shaping who we turn out to be. So our psychology is all the consists all the gathered experiences, all the collected experiences that we've had before. So when you are exposed to propaganda, then the propaganda will shape how you act out in this life. When you are exposed to sexual content, then the sexual content will create a pervert in you. When you are exposed to drug music and gangster music, then the gangster music, the drugs music will end up shaping who you turn out to be, or the things that you think about. So there's no music for fun. There's nothing you'll encounter just for fun. It's for fun, and also an information force, a source of information that will shape and readjust your brain, your mentality, your mindset, your personality. So awakening, enlightenment, is the awakening to the fact that the things that we encounter, the things that we experience, do not leave us in the same way as we were before we listened to those things, or before we watched those things. So there's no movie that you watch that will leave you the same. So every movie you watch, every music you listen to, every video you watch online on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube, every content you are exposed to shapes who you turn out to be. Just as the things that you learned in school shaped who you are right now, just as the mathematics you learned in school helps you do calculation in this present time. So the things that we are exposed to in form of education, in form of music, in form of movies, in form of all these things that shape and we acquire through our senses, all these things end up shaping who we turn out to be. The news, all these shape who we turn out to be and do not leave us the same as we were before. So awakening and enlightenment are so fascinating that they transform a human being from being manipulated by these forces without his or her own consent to a state where one becomes aware of these things while they shape oneself. One becomes aware of each and everything that one experiences or exposes oneself to. So one becomes cautious and careful about the things one watches, about the things one intakes through the senses. One becomes a great master and a great author of his own or her own destiny. So one decides with deliberation right things to watch so that he or she can create the right personality. One realizes that personality begins from the things one constantly repeatedly is exposed to. One becomes aware that personality and character are built by the things one is constantly exposed to. So this is enlightenment. This is true awakening, the awareness of the external forces and how they shape oneself, the awareness of how external forces in the name of music, movies, videos, and news shape one's tendencies, awareness of the societal influences on oneself. This is the true awakening. This is true enlightenment, where one awakens to the fact that things that one experiences do not leave one's psychology in the same state that it was before. Each and everything one is exposed to leaves an impact, leaves a mark in one's mentality, leaves a mark in one's psychology, to an extent that one becomes a copy of that which has shaped him or her. So enlightenment and awakening are two fascinating facts, or are two fascinating states of being that transform a human being from being unconscious while he or she lives to a state of being conscious and aware of the influences that shape one's conduct, one's character, one's behavior, one's personality. So until next time, let's all awaken to things that shape our behaviors, our personalities without our consent.